Reaction is a loss of control. Every time you react emotionally, you're giving someone else control over your behavior. Think about it. Somebody sends a message, you instantly respond. Somebody disrespects you, you feel the need to prove something. Somebody doubts you, you rush to explain. That's not power, that's emotional dependency. Because now your mood, your actions, your energy are being dictated by something external. As a man, as a father, as an entrepreneur, you cannot afford that. Not everything deserves a response. Here's a hard truth. Everything does not deserve your attention. But we live in a world that conditions you to respond to everything: notifications, comments, opinions, negativity. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire day reacting instead of building. Let me say that again: reacting instead of building. Every time you engage with something meaningless, you're stealing time from something meaningful. And most people don't realize ignoring is not a weakness. Ignoring is discipline. The power of silence. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you have because silence does a few things. It protects your peace, it preserves your energy, and it forces other people to sit with their own behavior. See, when you don't respond, you don't give fuel to the situation. You don't escalate it, you don't validate it, you let it die. And a lot of things in your life don't need to be solved. They need to be starved. I'll tell you about some things that happened in my life. A story about how I was beefing with some of my friends, and instead of staying quiet, I fed into some of those emotions. I said things that I probably shouldn't have said when I should have just kept it to myself. But because I'm working on my emotional intelligence and I'm building it, things happen. People know your triggers, especially people that's known you a long time. They know how to say things to trigger you to get a response from you. Typically, I'm the calmest, coolest person in the room. It's hard to get a rise out of me. I've had relationships with women that struggled being with me because it was hard to get any type of toxicity or anger out of me. Yeah, I may be angered in some kind of way of something they're said, but I wouldn't allow them to know that. I would control my power, and that's my emotional intelligence. I've been very good at controlling my emotional outbursts and my reactions to people. But somebody that you care about, somebody that's known you for a long time, somebody that's set on getting a reaction out of you, they know how to hit your triggers, and it's your responsibility to control those triggers. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We all have our own feelings. So there's going to be those moments where somebody triggers you and you're going to react. Don't be hard on yourself for doing that. I've done it. I've reacted when I knew I shouldn't have. And then I'll beat myself up for days and weeks later saying I shouldn't have even reacted. I shouldn't have fed into it. It's just about the emotional intelligence. That's why we're here on this podcast, trying to get stronger and stronger emotionally so we can handle any situation when it comes up like that. But, I was beefing with some of my friends over something really small, but as men, it became this long, drawn out thing, tit for tat, on text messages, through friends or through group chats and things like that. In reality, the whole time, even though it took us 3 years to reconcile, I should have just stayed silent. I shouldn't have said anything. Every time some negativity came my way, I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just sat back. And I think that beef would have ended a lot sooner if nobody had have said anything negative toward the other person. We could have eventually crossed paths and talked it out like we eventually did and resolved that, because I reacted, they reacted, I reacted to that, they reacted to that. We just kept going back and forth with reacting to each other. And because, like I said, at that point, once you say something, once somebody says something to you and you say anything back, now you're emotionally invested in that drama. You've given some power away and you got to try to get it back. That's just nature. That's just how you work. You're going to try to pull that power back from them saying something to you and making you say something back to them. You're going to try to rush and get it back. Don't say anything. That's the easiest way to avoid being drained or giving away your power. Just don't say anything. Let that person sit in whatever they said to you Why aren't they saying anything? Why aren't they saying anything back? I said this. I know that's a weak spot for them. You're stronger than that, and let them figure it out. Eventually, they'll come back around and realize they messed up, and now they're be sorry and want to talk to you about it. So it's just about practicing this stuff, and this is what this podcast is about. That's why I ask you guys to tune in every week. I'm just talking about different things, life experiences. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm a real person, a father, entrepreneur, and a student of life because I've done so many things. I've been in so many different uh, businesses and so many different situations. Right now, I'm doing this podcast. I'm 50 years old. So I've experienced a lot of different things, and I want people to watch this and learn from it, especially younger people, 25, 30. Don't make some of the mistakes that I made and avoid some of these setbacks by being emotional intelligence and not making some of these mistakes. And you can better your life and better your business because now you have a focus and somebody like me that can tell you real life stories. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to help you. And so you can help the next person and so on and so on. It's called paying it forward. You pay it forward to the next person. I pay it forward to the next person. And it just keeps going on. The circle of karma is blessings keep coming your way. And that's what it's all about. And that's why I'm here. So let's continue on with the lesson and we'll pick up there. Why people struggle to ignore things. Let's be real. Ignoring is hard because your ego wants to respond. Your pride wants to defend. Your emotions wants to be heard. But discipline says, this doesn't deserve my energy. And that's the difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck. One reacts to everything, the other chooses carefully what deserves attention because the attention is currency and either you're investing it or you're wasting it. When to ignore versus when to act. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about being passive. This is about being intentional. There are moments when you should respond, when something aligns with your purpose, when something requires leadership, when something moves life forward. But everything else, distractions, negativity, petty conversations, people projecting their insecurities onto you, ignore it because your focus should be on building, not on battling. Let me leave you with this. Every reaction costs you something: time, energy, focus. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your life responding to things that never deserve your attention. So the next time something tries to pull you out of your zone, pause. Ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? And if the answer is no, don't react. Don't respond. Just ignore. Because your peace is too expensive to be given away for free. Thank you for tuning in to the Mindset Manual with me, your host, Myron Williams. If this message hit you hard, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. I would love to have them join the community. So until next time, stay balanced, stay focused, and keep practicing that emotional intelligence.